So jump in. Fire up the Lord of the Rings lo-fi concerning hobbits, and let's get into our sketches. There is no time to waste. All of our wonderful Zelda artwork. It's time to continue. We have a window here this morning. Make a little progress. Here we have a dark but potentially beautiful composition. It just needs light. This layer contains the color flat master, and we can use this to make selections, discrete selections that can aid us on our quest. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is establish a sort of global light that will, and this is typical of what I try to do, but again, because it works for the scene, we're going to sort of imagine that there is this ambient, cool blue light pretty much everywhere throughout the scene that we're going to add on top of this. And that shouldn't have happened. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Wonderful. This is what happens when you update things overnight. Everything breaks. Yeah, don't do that. Jesus. Christ. Sunlight. Okay. So what happened was my iPad, which I use as my camera, has a tendency to try to steal the AirPod connection unless I turn off the Bluetooth first, which I had, so it shouldn't have happened, except I restarted it last night, I guess. And I didn't really do that. I just left it plugged in, and then it restarted itself after installing an update on it, which I don't recall whether or not I gave it permission to do. So that's wonderful. Okay, we're going to add blue light to everything. And it's going to come sort of globally from far behind camera let's imagine this blue light as something that is the light of the clouds in the sky itself at night that is reflecting onto our scene. That's the source of the light. There's a moon here. That'll light the scene from behind. But if we imagine that there are clouds or even just tall structures like or mountains or something that can reflect light, because they will. Okay. It's been a while since we did this, so we'll be rusty. But if we pick this color, well, should we start? We can start with Link. And we add a little light to each of the channels and then a little bit more of the blue. That's how it's done. That's not blue enough. Let's try this. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened earlier there, but this is much closer. Right here, I'm just using an airbrush. Purpose here is to add lighting without spoiling the sense of the shape of the thing. And so we will go through this small section by small section. Oh, I should have done the hat. Oh well, we'll come back to that. Sort of applying our little lighting formula as we go. Zoom in a little more. I don't need it zoomed in, but it might be helpful. Let's see how fast we can make progress on this. Do you see the sense of light, but also keeping the form? So it's retaining that sort of a roundness. Now there will be details that I'll carve into this, but I want the first read to be about the turning of the form. essentially the top part of the chest that's closer to camera, the highest and closest part being brighter, and then gradating back to the other forms. So there's like a hierarchy. You get a sense of it. This hat is like a tube, conical tube, and it needs to feel that way. And we can see here that when I make area selections on the color flat master, the colors here are not changing. We're painting onto a different layer. So selecting for the hair now. But painting here. Hair is complicated. But I still like to default to my formula. But maybe not right here. Because I don't want to lose that shaping. When I look up here, I'm looking at the OBS thumbnail. It's sort of more helpful for me to, obviously, I work down here, but if I look up here, I can see a smaller version of the art that helps me get the read at a distance. It's super important. Ultimately, our modern audiences don't always have time to zoom in to all the details. They can see them, but they have to see them from far away. All right. Looks like when okay, so what happened here? That's weird. I have a different layer for the hands, because look how the hands are on top of the balcony, but his body's below the balcony, and the layer stack over here. Same color though, so I want to sort of paint them at the same time. And again, hands are complicated. But what if we just focus on trying to preserve that general sense of roundness and turning forms? You know, these fingers are like little tubes. I guess a hand is like in this case, it's like a piece of drapery. working with a broader airbrush to start. Really helps to sort of handicap me a little bit in terms of being unable to render details. I can't do any justice to fine details if I try. Right? But look at me try. Try nonetheless. All right, let's save some. It's tempting to try and get to the finish all at once, right? But that is not the way. We're going to do a couple passes with this airbrush before we switch to a different brush. But we want to do the work in measured passes if we can manage. Sometimes things don't want to grab. Even the whites of these eyes need to be lit. But this big airbrush is too big now. I have to shrink it. Same formula, just add blue light. Now, interestingly, the irises have a different shape. They're not the same as the they're like inverse balls. So it's really like the light catches on the opposite side from where it's coming, like a bowl. It's a subtle distinction here, but a teaching moment nonetheless. Okay, and now we have a sense of Lincoln generally being lit by a little bit of blue light. Now, looks really out of place because the rest of the scene isn't lit, so we have to do that. We have to make sure that we are saving as we go. So anybody following along, save your work too. Okay, so one thing that we're going to do see this big balcony. If I turn it on and off, some of this balcony, the underside of this balcony actually isn't going to catch enough blue light for us to light it, which means we're not going to light it, therefore it'll stay in shadow. So we're going to shade it by not lighting it. Let's do a big selection here. And then here, I'll just do sort of the barest effort of making a nice selection that carves out the section here that's going to be lit. And then here on the bottom as well, this is in parallel. So that's going to be lit much the same as the top section. Not entirely the same, but mostly. And we're going to treat them the same, the way that light would. Okay, so you see, that's the wrong color. Add a little bit of light overall, plus blue. I'm going to make a big brush. This is much bigger than Link. Okay, that's as big as that one gets. Okay, do we see the effect? That's about as good as I want to make that look right now. There is this secondary, see there's geometry to this where it steps in and then has the sort of angled section where then it meets the upright part again. That is going to be sort of in between in terms of how much light it receives. Something like that. Yeah, it's even more lit at the bottom. The top part is a little more occluded. It's being blocked by that ridge, right? It's got the reed. this section of balcony here. Now all these stones are the same color. We can use, therefore, the same color. A little bit of light there, a little bit of light there. That was a little sloppy though. Let's section this out a little bit more. So that gets light, and then otherwise it'll look flat. Different kinds of treatments a little bit help. See how that sort of feels a little bit more deliberate. Right? Okay. Let's not ignore these leaves. The leaves represent lots of things: change, shedding of skin, loss, and passing. It's always been up for interpretation. What are the colors of these orange leaves when we add blue light? It becomes a very neutral pink. Now these crumbly shapes are too nuanced and complex for me to devote a large amount of time. So I'm just basically tagging them with a bit of that blue light influence. It's funny, the imagination kind of takes over. They are, of course, complex and crumpled, but the general idea of the shape of a leaf is it's like a Pringle shape. What is that shape? What is that shape called? It's like, I bet it has a name, right? Okay, the shape of a Pringles chip is called a hyperbolic paraboloid. So today we learned it's a saddle-shaped, yes, saddle-shaped surface with a unique double curvature. Ah, they here, do a little learning together. Hyperbolic paraboloid. Oh, this is funny. Yeah. Look at all this cool stuff. But yeah, this is essentially the shape of a leaf. Probably even when it's dry. Amazing. Okay, so leaves are hyperbolic paraboloids. Never forget. Never forget. Which means a saddle is also a hyperbolic paraboloid. That's cool. Wonder how they make those. Okay, let's do the castle. We've got the color we like. Oop. So now selecting for just that color. Oh, somehow I lost the color. Here, let's go back. It's no biggie. We know our formula. Essentially this, although now the color is so sharp again, or the airbrush is sharp again. It feels bluer too. I might have used a slightly more nuanced calculation. That's okay. Variation is fine, and you can see there's some sloppy spill happening. That's okay. Maybe that's too bright. Let's go back a little. Let's go back. Constrain our efforts just a little. Okay. That's the general read there. These conical structures architecturally, these are sometimes referred to as witch hats. It's kind of fun. is the architectural name of a witch hat. Witch's hat roof, yeah. This sort of thing. Not a witch. Bell roof or flared roof. Bell roof, flared roof, or conical roof. Interesting. Alright, we'll stick with witch's hat. Adding light overall plus blue. Now these will be pretty blue because we're adding blue to blue. That's okay. It's tempting to run off and jump to the next big thing, but let's address some details here. Okay, this little light on. Light doesn't get lit by light the same way, at least here. That's not going to happen. But in some of these darker areas, if we don't do something, it'll feel like it's completely untreated. I don't think that's the right vibe. It's not too hard to just add a little blue light to little corners where it might catch and bounce around a little bit. Right. There's this interesting crest I've designed. Come on. Alright, we'll ignore that last one. Same formula, adding a little bit of light overall plus blue. That's all that needs. And then to the negative space. A little bit of light plus blue. There's an idea here with these flags that people may not necessarily notice. and they see it, but if they look for it, they'll see.
Whom do you serve?
Okay, castle's looking good. Let's do a little bit of this forest now. Let's see how far we can get. Here, let's do a quick save. Select color, add a little bit of blue light. Now trees are obviously complex, but we have to treat them as simple. Sort of giving it a flared gradient. We can sort of, for now, thinking of them as cones. Can't be too shiny though. Okay, that's good enough for now. Trees are best minimized. Be like, oh, over there's some trees. Just leave them alone. It's kind of like a strange, you know, I've sort of brought close the mountain and the forest to, you know, the gates of Hyrule, which is probably not a realistic depiction, but we're gonna sell it nonetheless. Okay, there's the mountain crest. This is very purple. Did I do that on purpose? Yes, I did. Yeah. All right. No worries. And again, the mountains are like cones. There's this theme. Okay, the moon is a lovely, important part of the composition, but we're not lighting it with blue light. The sky is something we will do last. Let's do Midna now. My first time coloring Midna. Broadly and gently lit. Okay, we're gonna do one lip at a time.
No parent should have to bury their child.
Those lips look good enough for now. Look at these interesting yellow eyes. Today will be the start of a busy work week for me. I have a 4-day booking. Much needed work, but work is a distraction from what is also important. Color of red eyes under the influence of blue light. It's a very magenta. And the bowl shape of the eyes means the light catches here. Dress, I'm very happy to say I put on a separate layer entirely, so that's good. This whole front section can be treated like a it's a design on top of a sphere. It's the shape of her head, essentially, so you can think of it as mostly a sphere. So we're going to pick one point to concentrate the light, and that should do it. That do anything? Okay, here we go. So before, after. More like this, I think. And then these devices up here get their own individual things happening to them. They're too complex for something so far off from the center of importance of the piece. So I'm not going to overdo their relevance. Quick save. And let's get all the hair taken care of at once. Really strange. Oh, that's interesting. Whoops. It looks like I forgot to color the tie of her hair. That should probably be a metallic, sort of grotesque, earthwormy shape. Okay, the color of this orange hair under blue light influence. There's like no blue in it whatsoever. It just becomes a duller orange. Of course. Something like that works. Something that I've noticed that I forgot is I don't know if I forgot or if I just had a separate plan for this, but Minna has decals on her. I don't think they're tattoos, but there's some sort of design on her arms and her cowl, her hood-like cape. So I guess those will come in later. They're kind of glowy, so maybe they don't get as much light influence as other areas. Maybe we can afford to punt that down the road. need just a little bit of gradient in the sky. Big brush. And let's just see. Normally, I might try to pick one direction or another specifically. But in this case, I don't mind a darker top and bottom. Kind of has a magical feel. So we'll leave it there like that. And obviously, that's such a simple sky gradient. We can do 1,000 things to change or tweak it in the future. Okay, this is a good place to... nice boring place to leave it for now. It's good. Well, progress for an hour. Still a quick save. Chat was quiet today. I don't mind that. Moved fast. Learned what a hyperbolic paraboloid is. It's good stuff. All right. Make some silly faces. All right. All right, that's the best. All right. Anybody listening, thanks for joining. Catch you next time. Adios.